So we're back today again. Another podcast. We're gonna talk about everything that's going on in New York. You know, all the chaos and the how we're acting as a civilization, I guess. So we have Seem, Aaron, and Travis here. So we're gonna start, giving our feedback on what's going on. So, Aaron, everyone's saying that they're not really taking the virus too seriously. What's your point of view on that? How are you feeling about the virus right now?
Well, what I'm not going to let it do is have me paranoid and fearful of everything. I will prepare for it, sanitizing my hands and making sure my family's okay. But as far as me, acting uncivilized,
right?
That's not going to happen. Only thing we can do is make sure our friends and our family and our loved ones are okay. Check in on our elderly who cannot fend for themselves, and just make sure they're away from the public. But they say you can't be in groups, large groups.
Yeah, groups of 10 no more than 10.
10? Okay.
Yeah.
So I would mainly say that. I would say just be updated on, what the government is planning, the state is planning, and try not to let anyone have you believe something that's not true.
Okay. What about you?
I would also agree with Aaron. I would say that, one of the things that people should really focus on is how to maintain calmness within the families, how to make sure that, not only just the elderly, but the young ones are not thinking that they could give the elderly a virus without having any knowledge about what the virus is and how it can be contracted. I think a lot of young people now are saying, if I get close to grandma or grandpa, I can give them something without knowing how it is transmitted. And I say first get educated on what the virus is, and then make steps to make sure that you can give it to a loved one. That's the best way to stay calm and to stay informed.
You're absolutely right, because I don't know if you were catching up on the news, but there was a group of college students, and they didn't really care about the virus. One of them, if I recall correctly, said, "Oh, I don't care about the virus. If I get it, I get it. I've been looking forward to spring break."
What's my favorite term?
Remind me. I forgot.
You can't teach stupid.
True.
Continue, sir.
Yeah, and they're all on the beach partying while the entire city is on lockdown, to get a grip on the virus. And I looked at it and I said to myself, that's just crazy, because okay, if you get it, you get it, but now you're not taking into consideration everybody else, like what Aaron said. You're gonna just go home thinking that you're fine. You give it to your grandma, then you pass it to somebody else, and that's a really stupid way and a stupid outlook on life right now, with everything that's going on, with all the information that we have available at that,
Agreed. I agree with you 110%.
I want to say that, one of our brothers, Taylor, who is always very informative and, he's always keeping up with current events, would say, and I'm not quoting him, but I want to say that he would most definitely say that, the best way to solve ignorance is to be, again, like I said before, informed.
Yeah.
And a lot of ignorance has been spreading to, I think, more of the people who are on social media the most about, who can catch it and who can't. And I'm sure maybe a lot of the people listening to this podcast, a lot of the people that, are on social media have heard the whole black people can't catch the virus.
Wow.
Right. So when you hear that...
Sorry. You can't teach stupid. Go ahead.
It's a fact. I mean, when you hear things like that, it spreads like fire. Now everybody's thinking, well, I'm immune, I'm invincible, and let's go to the beach, let's have fun, because only the older people can get it. Now, being informed, school in Rivendell, the Bronx, which is in the city, school, they're the first to have a case of corona. That was the first actual time where they said, listen, schools are getting it. I think we need to do something about the schools.
Definitely.
Now, once that was put out there, I think that this should have been a time for young people to say, listen, maybe my younger sibling could have it and be a carrier. It's not so much you having the virus and, you having the symptoms, but you can carry it, give it to another student or another, kid that's around you. And then more than, like you said before, you and Aaron said, more than 10 people, now we have a pandemic happening here.
You know what? I got to bring up a point that you had mentioned, that talking about invincibility just because you're young. I don't know if you were catching up with current events. I figure you are, because you have some really good pointers. But did you know that the first 17-year-old died from the coronavirus?
I did not know that.
Everyone say, oh, but that's only in South Korea. Yes, it's in South Korea, but that's besides the point.
It's
From
relevant.
from what the doctor said, there were no underlying issues. He tested negative around 7 times.
Wow.
And when he went to the hospital with pneumonia, they tested him again, and then the virus showed up and he passed away. You're absolutely right. You're not invincible. No one is invincible. The best method of defense right now is to protect yourself by doing the necessary steps.
Right.
Continue.
This is one thing that social media has to understand. This is not a challenge.
Oh God.
Okay? This is not something you get views with. And I saw on Instagram the other day, a young stupid lady was licking the toilet.
Oh boy.
And I'm like, okay, now if you find this to be amusing or entertaining, you're dumb. You dig what I'm saying? Because this thing here is taking people's lives, man. Like, people are dying. And you just said a gentleman that was 17 years old died. And this is not, you know what I mean? At first it was smaller numbers and people weren't taking this seriously, but now, like, thousands of people are dying.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? It's not like, okay, this is not a regular virus. This is something that's killing people due to you may have a weaker immune system, or you may not know you have it. You dig what I'm saying? So it's like, I would tell anybody, we can't stress it enough, but stay informed. Try not to read into too much of the conspiracy theories about this being a black people can't get it. You know what I'm saying? Cover your face, wash your hands. You guys know I walk around with Lysol in my book bag. I'll spray you. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? So I'm serious, but I'm not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, people are dying. You got to think about your family, bro.
So there's one question that I have for you, Aaron, and this is only because Travis and I feel that you're one of the people that have a lot of information when it comes to the workforce. You've been around. You've done a lot. What would you have to say for those people who are worried about, working conditions? Those people who they're telling, hey, you have to stay indoors, you have to do, certain steps to not infect other people, but they still need to work. They still need to go to their jobs to provide for their families. What would you say to those people who, are in desperate need of just knowledge?
I would say, for one, if you really feel that unsafe, then no, don't come to work. You dig what I'm saying? No, don't. If that's what your concern is. But now if you want an extra few days off, kick rocks. You dig what I'm saying? Because, again, this is a serious thing. I say to myself, if I don't come to work, my mortgage is not going to get paid.
Absolutely.
So I have to come to work until someone says to me, above my manager, or somebody has to come down the pipeline and say, hey, you guys cannot come to work. Until the United States armed forces are rolling down Broadway, saying, or rolling through Elizabeth, New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey, stating, don't come down the block or we gonna lock you up, then I'm not coming to work, because this is something bigger than what we can control. We can't control it. So I would say to anyone, do what you feel is best for you, but don't panic.
Absolutely.
Don't panic. Again, let it, follow protocol. That's one thing I'm going to do, is follow protocol, because I'm not going to, as you guys know, I supervise maybe 10 to 15 people. And the best thing I can do is give them gloves and hand sanitizer and things like that, and ask them to read up on this stuff. But I'm not going to tell you not to come to work. That's not my job.
Right.
You know, I prefer people just, watch the news and get the right information, receive the right information, and just think before you do something.
And to follow up on that, so what of those, again, as everyone knows, Aaron is a supervisor, he manages a lot of people. What are those people who they come to work and their morale is kind of low? Because, if you walk outside now in New York, you see there's people, and people are kind of getting a little down and out. Like, why come? Why do this? Why do that? When there's nobody outside, and they're feeling like their work is going down. It's like they're not at the tier of the expectancy that they would have had when there was no outbreak of the virus. When they were giving you 100%, now they're giving you more like 45. Like, what would you say to those?
That's all on me.
Gotcha.
If I come to work and I'm scared, y'all gonna be scared. My title is a supervisor. That's what's on my profile. I'm a shift supervisor, right? But I also believe I'm in a leadership position. Follow my lead.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Because it's all about. I'm not saying that I'm invincible, and I'm not saying that I don't fear a little, but I'm not afraid to come outside either. You got to fight your challenges, man. It's you have to be fearless sometimes. Most of us are working for our families. We're not working for ourselves. And if you have family that relies on you, you really have to look deep into yourself. And like, you know what? People are looking up to me, and people are looking at Aaron to make the right decisions. And the right decision for me to do is to come to work with a smile on my face. You guys know I've been passing out gloves all afternoon. Yeah, I've been spraying people with Lysol, but that's just me being silly. But all jokes aside, man, it's like take your life seriously. The same way our friend Nick, he went out and bought as many masks as he can buy because he knew it was going to get tight. He knew it was going to get rough. I had to listen to him and got those masks, but I didn't think it was going to be this serious, man. I really didn't until this week, and I started seeing the governor and the president and the mayor and people making these decisions. But then again, to going back to your question is, do what's best for you. If you feel the need to stay home, then stay home. If you feel that if you go out, you're gonna bring something to your family. Like we work around thousands of people every day.
Right.
So when I touch doorknobs, I'm wearing a glove because I don't want to bring anything home. And I wipe the doors down at home. The bathroom door, the front door. I leave my sneakers and stuff at the front door. But like I said, it's all about. Like I said, I'm not trying to say I'm invincible or anybody can get it. This doesn't discriminate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I would just say, you know what? I come from New Jersey. I come a long way. So if I'm coming all the way from New Jersey to come to work, that means that I need my job, and I can't walk around being fearful. You know what I mean? I have to really let my guys know that, I got your back, and I'm gonna give you some gloves, or you need some hand sanitizer or something.
Right.
And if you feel you have any symptoms, let me know, and we can get you to go home. If you feel that you're feeling a little, your chest is congested, or shortness of breath, by all means, grab your stuff and go home. You know what I mean? I would say this: I'm the first to get here, and I'm more likely I'll be the last one to leave.
Gotcha.
All right.
If I could interject there, there was you were speaking earlier about not panicking.
Right.
And I've seen the supermarkets, how they get really crazy. It looks like a wasteland in there.
Right.
And I meant, I wanna touch on something because I saw a lot of posts, and I saw women, and not just women. I mean, like people buying 2 shopping carts full of milk, and I look at it and I think,
Lord have mercy.
It's stupid. It's really stupid for you to do that. What,
Yeah.
are you going to drink all that milk?
12 gallons of milk.
Right.
Ain't that much frozen flakes in the world.
But that's not what really kind of gets on my nerve. It's the lack of thought for others, and that's what
right.
really bugs me.
See, that goes back to me saying this is not a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
If you knew anything, what should be sold out is the veggie section, not the milk section.
The vitamin section.
The vitamin
Vitamin
section.
section.
Just so you
Correct.
guys know, I've been trying to order my vitamins off Amazon and Vitamin Shop and GNC, and they're saying right at the top of the screen, due to high volume, you
Delay?
might be delayed, and you might have to get it in May.
Wow, that's
You know what
far.
I mean? Because I want to stay, taking my vitamins. But I'm like, if you even go online, you can't get this stuff. So I'm more concerned about my vitamins and what's going into my body, because that can help you defeat this virus.
Right.
You know what I mean? But go ahead, man.
Right. So the reason why I brought this up was there was a woman and she made a post and it took off. You know, it got viral, and she was crying, and she had mentioned that because of her job and the times that she worked, she wasn't able to go to the store to pick up the necessities.
Right.
But she kept on traveling hours and hours, different stores, different locations, and it got to a point where she just broke down because she needed diapers for her kid. And she started crying, and she said, like, the way how it seems is just people are so selfish. And she's absolutely right, because once she finally found the store that had the diapers that she wanted, there were only 2 left. You know what she did? She bought one and left it for somebody else, the next one. And
That's compassion.
right, that's what we really need to be doing right now, because the way how I see things is, it's everyone's like, oh, dog eat dog. No. You don't do it like that. You have to look out for the next person, especially in our time of need. You can't just, oh, I got here first, this is all mine. No, it doesn't work like that. It's defeating the purpose of us being here.
That's why you have to align yourself with like-minded people.
Absolutely.
You have to, because you can be that person who's compassionate. You can have 12 other people who are not. You're like, I can't be around these kind of people, because what so you're saying you wouldn't even care about me if I wasn't aligned with you. That's what you're saying. If we weren't talking, then you wouldn't care if I got the last bottle of water.
Right.
I went to Walgreens yesterday, and I got two cans of Lysol. I didn't care that I had to spend $9.99 for each can, and I got some hand wipes and stuff like that. I brought one for me, and I brought one for my lady.
Right.
You know what I mean? I left one home. She has wipes and stuff like that. But they only allowed you to buy 2 cans.
Yeah.
So thank God that
For
these
that reason.
stores are really stepping up and be like, you know what, you can only buy 2.
Right.
You ain't been buying 12 cans of Lysol.
Right.
Now you need 18 of them.
Yeah.
You
I
know
mean,
what I'm saying?
it's just consideration, and it just plays a big factor into what's really, really going on with us, as human beings before the virus came about. And the virus, it didn't really cause this, it just brought forth the problem that was always there
It
before.
amplifies it more
Right.
when you try to figure out who's who. Sometimes you just got to sit back and watch, and you just watch how people operate, and you're like, oh, okay, I got you. You don't care about nobody else but yourself. I would tell you, I think I told him the story yesterday. When I got to New York yesterday, I was in somewhat of a bad mood. So I'm walking down the street, and I didn't want to get too close to anybody with this whole virus thing going around. So this guy said, hey, bro, you got some change? I'm like, no, I don't have no change, and I kept walking. So he said, hey, Jay-Z. And I said, what? Everybody says I look like Jay-Z. So in order to make his day, I had 2 scratch-off tickets in my pocket. One was for $2, the other one was for $4. And I gave it to him. You know what I mean? This man is homeless. He probably ain't got nowhere to go, no one to care for him, nobody to look out for him.
Right.
So I said, you know what? I'm gonna be a blessing. Yeah, that $6 could take him a long way. Don't tell him what that $6 gonna do for him. You know what I mean? Because he thought, then he really started smiling, like, because I was just gonna keep walking, because I got to go to work, and I don't want, I don't want to be too close proximity to anyone who may not have it.
Right.
So I went in my pocket and said, hey man, I said, there's $6 on one of these cards or whatever. Go do what you got to do, man. Go take care of yourself, man. So when you do stuff like that, sometimes it can become contagious.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because these people, he may not have no one to go to. He may not have nowhere to go get clean or wipe his face, wash up to. You know what I mean? No telling. It's something where you really got to look at yourself, what kind of individual you are. Because we're human, but not everybody has human quality. No one's really. What's that? No, what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of people aren't humanitarians. That's the right word.
I believe that's yeah.
You know, a lot of people just don't care.
That's bad, man.
Like you said, it's a dog-eat-dog world for some people, and I don't like that. Because if you believe it's a dog-eat-dog world, then you and I cannot coexist.
Yeah, we are our own worst enemies.
Definitely.
Believe it or not. Sad.
And, to that, both you gentlemen bring up a lot of points that, our brother Taylor was talking to us about the other day. And
Right.
everybody that's listening, I want to quote Taylor one more time. It's something that he actually did ask when we were bringing this topic up to, let you guys know this. But he said he's not so much worried about the virus because that's something that, he can control by doing the proper means to keep himself sanitated. But in these type of situations of panic. So I guess the question I want to ask to you two gentlemen is, since he's not here with us, is to ask that question for everybody that's listening to us. What would you say for those people who are like thinking, but I want to know, in those situations where we have to worry about other people and what people are going to do in panic, what would you guys say is the best way to go about it? Because at the end of the day, like you said, Travis, there'll be people that are going to think about me and my family. We need this. I don't really care about the next person. It's the same for Aaron. You bought Lysol, but I need more Lysol because my family's more important than yours. When does it become a point where you guys say, it's about human survival and not just you and yours? We just got to make sure that everybody comes out okay. What would you say to those people that are in that panic that's saying it's just for me, not for the next person?
Well, if I were to say something, but first thing, let me say it really depends on the individual, because you know what, no matter how you look at it, you cannot change somebody if they don't want to be changed. But what you can do, like Aaron said, sometimes you just got to do what you do. You think how you would want this to play out. That way, you never know. Somebody might see your deed, then it just becomes contagious, and then it just starts a chain. But, hey, if you're in a position and you see someone doing something that you deem it might be very selfish, it might cause an issue with everyone else, maybe you can say something, maybe you can change their mind. But it just really depends. Every scenario will always play out different.
Agreed.
That's what I think. That's what I think.
Let's say if we go into one of these establishments like Costco, BJ's, Lowe's, or anything like that. Let's just hope they have something in place when we go out to these places and we have to buy things for our family, that someone there is going to monitor what's being sold.
Right.
Because I would hate to be out with my family and I have to get out of character, not for the item but for my protection. Because now it's about my harm now. You're trying to cause me some bodily harm now. It's not about the wipes. It's not about the Lysol. It's not about the Clorox. It's not about the sanitizing. Now you're trying to hurt me for an item. How far do you go? I'm one of those guys that I'll do anything within my power to stop any, violence or commotion or anger. I would exhaust every opportunity until I have to defend myself. So I'm hoping like we ever have to go to even Walgreens, wherever. You know what? If the lady says or the man says, "Hey man, you can only take 2," fine, I'll come back tomorrow.
It goes to I know this is definitely not something that's important, but I know everyone might say, "Hey, bad timing, man," but during the whole commotion stuff, I went out and I actually built my computer.
Right.
And I wasn't happy with one of the parts that I bought, so I went to return it. Now, the return policy is 30 days. So I went to the manager and I said, "Hey, due to everything that's going on, I want to return this so that way I could get store credit to purchase something else. So what's going to happen if you were to close for the next 2 weeks? Are you going to extend the policy?" And, he brought up some good points, and he was, to be honest, how he spoke, it felt really condescending and very disrespectful. But he did bring up a good point, like, I'm not really going to speak too much on it, but at the same time, if we were to close and you bring it back, I'm not really going to grill you and give you a hard time because we were closed. There's nothing we could do about it. Right? But he did say, you'll have some individuals that use this to their advantage and bring back a part 6 months from now.
That's right.
So I understood what he was
They'll
saying.
find something in the house. Yeah, let me bring this back.
Right. And that just goes to another point that I'm going to dive in. People taking advantage of the situation, using it to their advantage. This is not the time to do that.
I agree.
If you look at the news, there was this flyer going around. I'm not sure how true it is, but it's saying that some people are posing as COVID testers, knocking on people's doors, and then robbing them. Like, come on, man. Really, is this what we're degrading ourselves to? You know what I mean? We got to do better than this.
Right.
It's sad. It's sad that every time something comes along where we're supposed to pick each other up, we end up crabs in a barrel. Not everyone.
Do you remember when, after 9/11, a day or two after 9/11, the United States was the most patriotic place on the planet. The year after that, no one was patriotic anymore. Everyone had flags in their cars and on top of their trucks and stuff like that, and that made me feel good, knowing that we come together with a dark moment. September 11th was a very dark moment. So I would love to see that happen now.
But during that time, the reason why everybody is very patriotic is because we had someone to blame. Everybody was pointing the finger at, but this disease does not discriminate.
Right.
So since it's coming around the globe, it's who do we blame? Everyone's trying to blame China. Everybody's saying this is where it came from. This is this.
Right.
Even
But that's
still,
irrelevant right now.
Exactly.
It's irrelevant right now.
9/11 happened. Everybody was like, "Listen, this is what happened. These are the people who attacked us. This is the end." Everybody can come together, all colors, all nationalities, because we're all American.
Right.
What do we do now? And I feel like, and I'm gonna get a little animated, but every monster movie that you've seen, every end of the world movie that you've seen, it's not so much the monster that's the issue, it's the humans that attack the other humans. And I think, again, that's the point that our brother Taylor was making. War of the Worlds, everybody was going after each other. Nobody was really thinking, wow, if we stand together and figure out what is the issue with the monster, maybe we can come out on top.
I got a better one. You said War of the Worlds. Walking Dead.
Even
Now, I remember. Hold on. I remember season 1 to 3 were some of the best seasons ever. They were literally trying to escape for a better life to find a cure. Seasons 1 to 3.
I remember.
Right.
That. Yup.
And then
they made it to Atlanta.
Right.
Right.
So after season 3, 4 to
Now.
The characters got violent, and it's just, okay, who am I gonna kill now? And that's all the show kind of boiled down to.
With zombie mask.
Yeah, it got really bad to the point where I can't watch it because it just makes you think, like, if this were to actually happen, wow, this is a possibility. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's serious business.
It's crazy.
That's serious business, man.
So I think to that point, again, not trying to get too much into the sci-fi point, but to speak more on what we should do as a people is figure out how we can not only defend ourselves from, any type of harm from not just other people, but from the disease itself, is to figure out how we can how we can keep our community strong. And I'm not talking about just the black community or the white. I'm talking about
human family.
Exactly.
The human family.
So if your neighbor is whatever race, religion, whatever, and they may need assistance, I'm not saying go touch them. I'm not saying rub them. I'm not saying do all those things. But I live next to a lot of elderly people that may not be able to do too much for themselves. Just to knock to say, is everything okay? Sometimes that means more to a person who lives alone than you just giving them money or anything like that. And I feel like once we get into our humanity and realize, listen, we're here with each other, not against each other, the virus won't really, have that big of effect. We can worry it, we can fix it together. I don't think that, a lot of people view the same way. They feel like, if I stay away from everybody and I isolate myself, then I'll be safe. We forget that when the virus was in China, it was airborne. It got to America, all of a sudden everybody forgot that. It's airborne. You wearing gloves isn't really going to stop me from talking and letting the air touch your skin. So it's so much we need to figure. Again, I go back to my main point. we need to be knowledgeable and we need to get more information before we start pointing the finger and saying who's to blame. And
this is the wrong time to be pointing fingers right now.
I think in terms of chaos, in some instances, people are more afraid of not having information.
Right.
And I think really right now that's what it is.
Right now. Information is an asset right now.
Yeah, exactly. Without information, how do we go about doing anything? And the more that people aren't informed, which is something that you keep on touching on, the more likely we're gonna do stupid stuff. Mm-hmm. Which is exactly why you have people buying
12 gallons of milk.
12 gallons of milk.
Lord have mercy. 12 gallons of milk.
Tons and tons of toilet paper.
When did that become an issue?
It exactly was never an issue.
Exactly.
So
that's why I was leaning towards more this challenge. I want to be seen on television with 45 rolls of toilet paper.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Or 12 gallons of milk and posing with it. You know what I'm saying?
Like it's an achievement or something.
Yeah,
like no.
How have you been wiping your behind all these years? You think what I'm saying? Or how much you just started? You ain't been drinking milk like this.
Exactly.
Technically, all you got to do is buy like almond milk lasts almost like a month and a half, 2 months. Buy something like that. If that's what you're concerned about, buy 2-3 of those. No one's going to eat cereal every day. But that's
seriously.
Yeah. But
another question I have, for Aaron, because it's more leaning towards what your thoughts and your opinions are on the matter and how you can get some more knowledge into the people that are also in leadership roles. And you yourself having a lot of people that have to manage on a 5-day, schedule.
Right.
What would you tell the other leaders who are feeling like the people that they lead and they don't know how to show them how to stay strong, how to maintain, how to be there for your fellow coworker? What advice would you give to those leaders?
Well, again, when you step into a leadership position, it's no longer about you.
Absolutely.
You have to lead by example. I would say talk amongst your peers. Because you don't know everything. I don't know everything. And as you know, I talk to Taylor about everything. About you need some info, I'll ask Taylor in a heartbeat or anyone. You know what I mean? And it's like,
right.
Even our friend Nick. Hey, what you think I should do, man? I'm texting Nick now. I gotta find out how to get those masks because I have a family to worry about. And if it gets to the point where I have to give my family mask, or I gave her some gloves this morning just before I left the house, and I wiped her car down. But I'm doing the best I can do right now with what I have. But I would just say, be mindful, man. To be very mindful and show no fear. Because once you crack, they're looking at you like, okay, we can't depend on this person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm hoping my worst fear is that I'm not up to the job. That's my worst fear, that I cannot lead the way I need to lead, and I can't provide the right information. Every time I get some information, I put it out there.
Right. That's what.
Yeah, just put it out there. And again, just you gotta put on your poker face. Especially like, again, you're in the leadership role. There's no cracking, there's no breaking. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I'm not afraid. I am. It can have, like you said, this thing doesn't discriminate. But if I buckle up and run, then I'm like, what's wrong with this dude? Oh no, we don't want me. Cause when I come back now, you ran, bro.
Yeah,
you left us stranded, man. You can't do that. You know what I mean? So I want to be the person to be like, okay, well, you know what? This is the information I have. You do what you need to do for yourself, but this is what I can do for you right now.
Got you.
You know what I mean? So like I said, just be mindful of how anyone in the leadership position, just be mindful of how you conduct yourself. Don't buckle. Because this right now is not. We're not in a situation where we just got to leave New York.
Right.
You know what I mean? This thing, they're putting steps in place. They're keeping us aware. We're very informed of what's going on.
Right.
But it's back to this question. It's like, you know what? I'm going to take whatever information I have. I'm going to apply it to the people. This is what I have, man. And again, if you don't feel comfortable coming to work, and if that's how you truly feel, stay home, man. It's okay. But for those of us who don't have that leisure of staying home, we got rent, we got car payments, we got mortgages to pay. We don't have that luxury, man.
Gotcha.
So just be safe and do the best that you can and come to do a job. You here to work.
Yes, sir.
You here to work, man. So,
You know,
yeah.
I was speaking to a couple of my younger friends today, and you know, everyone's freaking out about the sheltering thing that's going on.
Right.
And you know, while it's understandable, like it's kind of stopping your daily life.
Okay.
Everyone, like, they were more concerned, oh, I'm not gonna get to go out, I want to go to this bar. And it's like, you know, there's really nothing wrong with staying home, enjoying it. There's so
Not
much
at
you
all.
can do at home. And I think, like, it just goes over a lot of people's heads that you can enjoy yourself at home. You could find a nice TV show, you could read a book, exercise at home, cook, find a new recipe. Everything doesn't have to be
Out and about.
exactly. It doesn't have to be
Out and about.
focused on going outside or spending money. It doesn't matter what you want to do. It's your money, but there's other things you can do to entertain yourself.
You know what, man? I'm sorry to cut you off, brother. There's something that Bernie Mac said. He said something like, "I don't believe shit. The shit happened." Right? But now, when the shit happens, then what are you gonna do?
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? Okay, you want to go on out? Go ahead. A week or two down the line,
Not
they-
work.
yeah, exactly. You're laying home with your mate or your family. You're on the sofa, and then you start coming up with these symptoms due to something you did 2 weeks prior. Right? Now you infected everyone in your home because if you wanted to go out to a bar, you wanted to go smoke a cigar, you want to go smoke hookah somewhere, you want to go to the beach, and they tell you stay away from large populations of people. They tell you this because it's that serious, man. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I'm in agreement with Travis. I got Netflix, I got Amazon Prime, I got YouTube, I got video games, and I got snacks.
Right.
So-
Exactly.
Yeah. Or you know what? Go back to sleep.
Catch up on that sleep that you didn't
Catch
get
up on
last
that
week.
nap. You know what I mean? Go in a coma for 3 hours and wake back up. You know what I mean? Go yourself in this
Right.
coma. You know, get some what's that, melatonin? That's what that is. You pop a few of those. Take a nap.
You know, growing up, I always, you know, I'm not taking anything away from anyone. I used to be like that. Always want to be out and about. But you know, the older I got and the more responsibilities I had,
Right.
I have, it's like, yo, I really look forward to going home and sitting down.
Bro.
It's I'm
What?
telling you, it's magical.
It's a luxury.
Exactly.
It's a luxury.
I'm not paying all that rent just to go out.
You know what?
You-
No, I'm gonna sit on this sofa I paid for.
Exactly. I'm gonna enjoy this so
Okay,
far.
that big 65 inch, I'm gonna watch it.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't care if it's watching me. I'll take a nap in front of my TV. It's mine.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't do these things because everybody's different.
But-
But at the same time, sometimes you just gotta dial it back.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna try to wrap this up because I want to babble on too much.
All right.
But my favorite word of 2019 and 2020 is optimistic.
Right.
I honestly believe this is gonna blow over. You know, we survived 9/11, we can survive this. And those of us who are descendants of African slaves, you gotta pay homage to those who didn't make it through the Middle Passage. There are people who didn't make it. So if our ancestors can get through 400 years of the brother, we can get through this.
True.
We can get through this. You know what I'm saying? Again, like I said, this virus is different. It's a little more amped up. But you know what? Because you can defeat this virus. It can be defeated. Take care of yourself. Vitamin C, and you know, you check your immune system. Go to the doctor. Even if you don't think you have, just go. Let the doctor tell you something. You're good. Okay, well, you know what? More vitamin C for you. You know what I'm saying? But like again, earlier, like I said, I'm not gonna let this thing have me in fear. I'm not walking around looking at people like they're zombies. You know, just don't cough in my direction. Cause I will spray with the Lysol. I got a big tall can. It's lemon though. It's lemon. You know. You know. But yeah, man. Just first things first. I'm gonna thank you guys for sitting through this podcast with me because I don't like doing podcasts alone.
Of course.
So
Man.
I
Not a
appreciate
problem.
you guys sitting through with me because I get tired of talking to myself.
funny.
It's boring.
It's good to always
other
have
voices.
This guy's crazy.
I need
man.
other voices. I need other voices in the room.
It's good to have
Different outlooks.
perspectives. It's
you know.
it's refreshing and
Definitely. So I'm looking for people to gravitate to the YouTube page. You know, we're going to be a little more consistent with this.
Right.
You know, with work and family life, and sometimes we cannot always connect the way we want to connect. And once again, I appreciate you guys. So thank you, Travis, and thank you, Kasim, for always being there to help me pull this thing together. And to my friends and family that are following me on YouTube, click that like button, click that subscribe button, and just leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think of this YouTube
also
page.
turn on those notifications. That way you know when he uploads.
Exactly, that too. I knew that. But I knew that. But yeah, so we're gonna wrap this up. Once again, thank you, Travis. Thank you, Kasim.
No problem.
Everything is everything. Stay cool and God bless y'all.
All right. Have a good one now. Have a good one.